Greetings from the set of Metro and More at Metropolitan Community College, serving more than 50,000 students with over 120 programs at our 8 locations in the daytime, evening, weekends, or online. I'm your host, Kent Pavelka. Welcome again to Metro and More. More of what you need to know about Metropolitan Community College. Our next half hour, a discussion about Fort Omaha in the 21st century and the new Academic Skills Center at the Fort Omaha campus with Sue Raftery, the Dean of Literacy and Workplace Skills at the college, and Dr. Arthur Rich, Vice President of Campuses and Student Affairs. Good to have you both back.
Delighted to be here.
No strangers to the program. Nonetheless, maybe just a second, a reiteration about your tenures at Metro, your background, then we'll dig into the 21st century as it relates to Metropolitan Community College. Sue?
I actually supervise the adult education basic skills area of the college and also the entry-level workforce training, employability skills kinds of actually credit offerings, and we have some models out there that we've put those two things together. One is the MCC Express, so our area also oversees that facility and that operation.
How long have you had this specific set of responsibilities?
About 5 years.
5 years. Mm-hmm. But you've been at the college now?
A lot of years, 25 years.
25 years.
Yes.
I hope that's not a sore subject. Time goes by in a hurry.
No, it does go by very quickly, and have had a lot of good opportunities to try some new things and new initiatives, and still feel that way.
Yeah, great. And Dr. Rich, you've been VP of Academic Affairs. How long? The dean for what?
Student Affairs.
Student Affairs.
I've been here 6.5 years. I'm a Bostonian who's found his way to Omaha.
6.5 years. Very good. Yeah, and a little bit of the accent still.
Still,
I'm sure people tell you.
Yes.
Yep. Well, it's good to have you both on to talk about Fort Omaha campus in the 21st century, and more specifically, the Academic Skills Center that's under construction. In what ways are you both responsible for and involved in this I guess, greater vision, the 21st century as it relates to the college and then the new Skills Center?
It's a team approach, and that's one thing that I think, hopefully, even though there are only 2 of us on that team here today, I hope we can communicate that it is an opportunity to really bring together the instructional side of the house and also the services, student services, enrollment services, some of us that are doing some coaching kinds of things and career planning. And so it's a very large team. We've had a lot of opportunity to bring people together across the college to talk about what it is that we hope to accomplish in this new facility.
Arthur?
Well, and my folks are we will be providing some student services such as the Learning and Tutoring Center and testing centers, but we'll also be involved in the first floor activities that really will be what we're calling those, it's that front door concept for the college. So it'll be new students arriving, and there'll be some triaging in terms of services, and between Sue's folks and my folks and Ingrid Berlin's folks in enrollment services, we're providing those intake services.
Very good. We'll get into more detail on all of that in just a minute, but we're talking about number one, a major construction project at the Fort Omaha campus and a new Academic Skills Center. Before we talk about the building and the construction, let's just talk about the concept, the paradigm of academic skills. What are we talking about? What is the college's focus when we talk about academic skills?
This is a good opportunity for us to interface with what's going to also happen with the other 2 buildings on the campuses. The fact that we'll have the construction programs here, we will have IT, we've already got culinary arts, other programs as well. The academic skills is going to focus on the basic skills, so reading, writing, math, and how those foundation skills are important to the different career areas.
And on our side, our major focus in that regard will be the Learning and Tutoring Center and the Testing Center. And the Learning and Tutoring Center, we think, will be a state-of-the-art facility.
I guess what I'm getting at is why the focus by Metropolitan Community College on academic skills?
Good question. As most of us know, I think that people want to go into some of these careers. Employers want to hire and have open positions. Oftentimes it's getting the skill level in, certainly reading is the foundation, but the reading, writing, and math skills to be successful on the job. There's also employability skills, which we sometimes refer to as soft skills: teamwork, communication, problem solving, critical thinking, those kinds of skills. We want to provide students with a better opportunity to link those skills with their occupational training. So being able to do some things that are really outside of the norm. We do small pockets of what we call contextualized learning, where we're looking at math skills related to a specific career. Construction, how do you use math? Why do you need math for that particular career area? And it's something that we've all heard about, the skills gap in our nation as a whole, and certainly in our community. We want to make sure that we address that, and we help provide people with the kinds of skills at those foundation levels so that they can be successful in a career.
And I'm sure that's not to suggest that the college has been negligent or hasn't been focused on academic skills.
That's right. And we have not, but we've made a very conscious decision to focus very not narrowly, but to focus on the foundational skills that our students need in order to advance here and to advance to wherever they might want to go, and that could be directly into a job, or it could be to a four-year institution.
Are we talking primarily about incoming students and their deficiencies, if you would, or are we talking about the whole process of being at Metropolitan Community College and taking advantage of academic skills?
Well, I think primarily the students who will be served in that building will be new students or first-year students, but since we'll be doing some developmental math, reading, and English classes there will be students that are other than first-year students. But the triaging services that will go on are specifically aimed at new students. Mm-hmm.
The intake?
Correct, yes.
And the initial advising?
Yes.
What's your vision of that? I'm a first year, this is my first day on campus. This is 2016 now. And the new Academic Skills Center, I walk in the door and now what?
One of the things I think that we're really aware of is that lots of our students come to us thinking that they want to be in college, but they don't really have a clear career path. And so we really anticipate that a major function of the intake process will be various methodologies to allow students to look at a broad range of careers, and also to do some career inventory testing, such that very early in their experience here, they will, if they're undecided, they will be decided.
Mm-hmm. And it's the timing of that for a new student is good. I mean, you got to take some basic classes anyway when you start out. So if you don't know what you want to do, that's okay, right?
It is, but I do think that helping students form those goals and a plan early on will help in terms of success and retention. The students will see the relevancy of some of those basic classes that they're asked to take. And some of the exciting things about that will be how do we work with the faculty in the occupational areas to help provide hands-on experiences of how those basic skills can come into play.
We want to try to give everybody a vision of what this new academic skills center is going to look like. And I guess the website is mcc.promise.org, is that right?
I think so.
Yeah. So we'll go to that and we'll talk about it because soil is being moved.
Soil is being moved.
Lots
of soil.
Lots of soil is being moved. And this is what, explain what we're looking at here.
This is a view of both, the building on the left is the Academic Skills Center. The building on the right is the Center for Advanced and Emerging Technologies, and that's a building that will primarily engage businesses and industry in the community, and that's going to be a very interesting building, conceptually and operationally.
This is at the Fort Omaha campus.
Correct, south end.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to see this from Sorensen, right?
Correct, yep.
Yes.
As you come in the front entrance now, which
Yep.
is off Sorensen rather than on 30th Street. And as a result, this is really going to change the face of the campus, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, significantly.
So how big is that building that we just looked at?
That's a very good question. I know that the academic skills is 3 floors, and I don't know the square footage, but it'll have about 12 classrooms, and then all of the other services that Sue's folks and my folks and Ingrid's folks will be providing.
12 classrooms and then all the other.
Right.
And a lot of collaborative spaces. The services will be meshed with some of the spaces where people are encouraged to break out into smaller groups. It could be individual study, could be tutoring. So there's a lot of spaces, large and small, that will allow people to continue their learning outside of a traditional classroom.
I assume all that's all planned out, exactly how you're going to do it?
It is, and what I've observed over certainly the last 15 years or so is that when students gather now at colleges and universities during the day, most of the time they're not gathering to socialize, they're gathering to do work, to study either singularly or in small groups. And so this building will have a variety of spaces, and some of them will be small carrel niche kind of locations, and we anticipate that there will be a system by which students may be able to schedule those spaces.
And there'll be a bookstore,
Yes.
a little cafe,
Yes.
which won't compete with Bistro.
No, true.
It sounds fantastic. Now, what is the timeline on all this? As we said, soil is being moved, and piles of soil. What are we calling that now?
Soil, and the big piles are surcharge.
Surcharge.
The anticipation is that, and sometimes when colleges and universities engage in these kinds of large building projects, it would be a building will be built and then another one and then another one. These buildings will all be finished at just about the same time. We anticipate fall 2017.
mcc.promise.org, you can take a look. And that's a live shot, right? A live video stream.
It is, yes.
So you can watch the surcharge
Correct.
build.
Yes, correct.
And the soil being
Yep.
moved. What's the synergy between the Academic Skills Center and the other building, the technology building?
That is what's also exciting about this project. They're located physically very close to each other. We need to play off of what's offered and the offerings in each of those buildings and the students that will be coming to those buildings. So the faculty and staff will have an opportunity, as well as the students, to work together a little bit more than we've been able to. We're purposely designing things to be a little more open. The fact that we'll have those occupational program faculty in close proximity to our basic skills gen ed faculty is going to allow some opportunities for sharing, planning, team teaching kinds of activities just simply because of the location. We actually are piloting a number of those same ideas several places across the college right now to help everyone get used to this new model and to make sure that we're ready when the doors open.
Now that begs the question, how have you operated prior to this in terms of trying to provide academic support?
We've
Academic
done,
skills.
I think, a good job. Certainly, I would never want to say that we haven't. I just think that sometimes the physical facility will help allow for greater sharing and collaboration, and that's what we're talking about here. Right now, our faculty and student services work very well together, and they want more opportunities to do that and to have advisors, I think, working closely with them. This should allow for that. Those small pilots oftentimes have members of different areas of the college working together, and so we're able to do it. We're just wanting to maybe take that to scale now.
How does the fact that the Skills Center is located on the Fort Omaha campus, will students at the other campuses avail themselves of the, I mean, will they come to the Fort for this intake, for example?
Yeah, I think the anticipation is that all new students, or most new students, will engage the college through the Academic Skills Center. Plus, there will be those classes that are scheduled here that will involve students whose home campuses may be on other campuses, and the learning support facilities will be state of the art, and I think it will draw students from the other campuses.
Be a little more specific about that. The learning support. You say facilities? Yeah.
Facilities.
State of the art.
They'll be, right now we have what we call learning and tutoring centers, and they're just that. They consist of lots of technology that students can use with the help of the staff at the center. And we do learning support for math, for virtually all classes. We offer tutoring. Tutoring can be scheduled with folks in those centers. And we anticipate that in addition to what we've historically offered, which is those kinds of traditional support services for students, we anticipate that technology will play a much bigger role in not only in those services, but in this building as well. And I anticipate also that we would have some embedded library services in the Learning and Tutoring Center, which we don't currently have.
There are some catchphrases I'm curious that maybe you can expand on. We talk about wraparound support, and that would include what we were talking about earlier, Arthur, right?
Yes.
Initially, the intake, all the way through what? Advising, coaching?
Right, through learning support and tutoring, yes.
So that's the wraparound part. And then how does that differ from the comprehensive learning support?
Well,
part of the conversation.
Comprehensive learning support, I think, would be considered part of those wraparound services.
Okay, okay. Tutoring, testing, assessment, that sort of thing. Do you have a feel for how this is going to change the quality of the experience of an education at Metropolitan Community College?
You know, we've again talked about pilots, and we know that oftentimes when there are those services and there is the ability to form a true team approach to the learning, that students persist and succeed better. We've had also opportunities where there's short-term training of some kind or short-term education that fits right in with what we're talking about with credentialing, short-term career certificates, stackable credentials. And if we help students make a plan and then they see those milestones and they can reach those milestones and they have a coach, they have an advisor, they have faculty working together to help them reach those goals, we've had significant success. And so those kinds of things are very encouraging. We also have looked at research across the country, and the research says the same thing, that cohort learning, not that it will all be a true cohort for every student, but that even that collaborative approach to learning is what can make the difference for many people.
And the more solid the student's start is at a college or university, the more we help ensure their persistence and ultimate success.
That's what I was going to guess, is that in a sense what we're talking about is initially encouragement, motivation, and then eventually retention, right?
Correct. Yes, correct.
And success.
Yes, correct. Yep.
So the proof will be in the pudding, right? I mean,
Yes.
there'll be statistics that will show. I mean, how exciting, though. I mean, I imagine this has energized the whole college, hasn't it? Has it not?
I think it's very exciting, and part for me is that makes it so exciting is that some of what we will be doing in the fall of 2017 is unknown and unknowable at the moment, and so you know, we can do our best planning. But some things, and especially in the kinds of technology that our students will be using a year and a half from now, will be very interesting.
Because we don't know what it's going to be.
We don't know what it's going to be.
We know it's always changing.
Yes. So again, I guess just to backtrack, we're talking 2017 when everything's up and running.
Yes.
So, and was that the original timeline?
I believe so.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about that? I mean, that you want to share with the community, because if you don't drive down Sorensen or North 30th Street, you wouldn't be aware of this, and all you see are piles of soil at this point in time. But
I think just the opportunity that the college and the community has by bringing these the three buildings together is really a unique time, and we serve students from the very basic levels. I'm involved in the non-credit English as a second language classes. I'm involved in the GED programming here. Those students will have opportunities, as well as those coming from high schools, as well as those incumbent workers coming to train. And we've always done those things, but I think being able to have a strong, welcoming, accessible, individualized environment is what we're going to be able to offer in a bigger way. The whole career planning piece is central to what we do here, but now we'll be able to provide those services to more students.
you touch on something we just barely touched on, which was that this is not just for Metropolitan Community College, but the community at large,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And in what ways will the community at large participate and benefit?
Well, I guess a couple of ways come immediately to my mind. The Center for Advanced and Emerging Technology will be an area that will draw startup kinds of initiatives in the community. There'll be a very large exhibition space, for lack of a better term, and classrooms, but people will, the business and industry folks will be able to come in and do some things there that they probably can't do in any other building in the city. And plus, there's immediately adjacent is the Academic Skills Building. And if, for example, if somebody wants to do a mini conference, there would be conference space there in the Kate Building, and breakout rooms and larger gathering spaces in the Academic Skills Center. So there's real synergy, I think, between certainly those two buildings.
Mm-hmm. And what about staffing? I mean, that's a big piece of this too. What's the plan for that, for this building?
Well, right now, we're in our 2015-16 budgets, we're putting staff positions in that we anticipate needing beginning in 2017. Not that we're going to fund right away, but so that we're aware of what those staffing needs will be a year and a half from now.
Mm-hmm. Sue, anything else you want to add before we get out of here? A half hour goes by pretty fast.
I guess just that we're also ramping up what we're doing with our full-time and part-time faculty as a way for those folks to get involved and get ready for this new way of providing education also.
Again, if you want to take a look at what's been done so far, and it will evolve, as you saw, there's a live stream. The website is mccpromise.org. So that's you're taking a look at it here. The construction of the Academic Skills Center and the Center for Advanced and Emerging Technology. We talked briefly about how this might impact the results of an education on the part of the students at Metropolitan Community College. How do you think it's going to impact the community? You alluded to it, Arthur, but it's fascinating, the possibilities.
Certainly the employers, businesses are partners and will be even more so our partners in this endeavor, and so it should help us be able to fill even more of the positions that are open in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't that folks don't know we're here, that they certainly do, but you alluded earlier to the fact that the first two buildings will be very observable from that intersection of Sorensen and 30th, 75. It's just going to be a very different look when people come into that part of North Omaha.
You have a feel for how it's going to change the culture of the campus?
That's a good question that I'm not sure I have a good answer for right now.
Well, it will, though. It has to.
There will be all of those collaborative spaces and places to just simply hang out and socialize, and so I think that will have an effect, a positive effect.
Maybe more of a traditional college campus feel,
Yes,
perhaps?
Yes, a more traditional 21st century college campus rather than an 19th century frontier fort.
However, you will maintain that part of it too.
Absolutely.
So it'll be the best of both.
Yes.
Of both, because
Yes.
this has been a great. The culture is great because of the ambiance.
Absolutely.
That it's had all these years. So it's going to be interesting to marry the two, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, lots to look forward to regarding the Academic Skills Center and the Emerging Technology Center, Fort Omaha in the 21st century. Sue and Arthur, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll have you back and we'll update, okay?
Great, thanks.
Very good. And thank you for being with us again on Metro and More. Our goal is to better acquaint you with the mission, leadership, and the reach of the college. I'm Kent Pavelka for Metropolitan Community College. If you have comments or questions about the program, please email us at metrovision@mccneb.edu. Thanks for watching.
This has been a MetroVision production produced by Metropolitan Community College.
As a student at Metropolitan Community College, you're part of something exceptional. You're part of a 40-year progression of excellence. You're part of the second largest institution of higher learning in Nebraska, part of a movement of emerging technology and dynamic partnerships with business and industry. You're part of an investment in this community to make it one of the best places to live and work in the nation. As a student at Metropolitan Community College, you're part of an exceptional opportunity. Metropolitan Community College.